So we are making progress, definitely, and congratulations to everyone that has been consistent in this class so far. And in case you have guys that, okay, you started together and you feel they are not here, please feel free to reach out to them. The journey to become the next world-class dev is in progress. So you just have to be consistent every day, keep showing up every day, keep learning every day. It's very, very important. So a moment, I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, before I share my screen, let me just hear from some of us in the class. Adeyinka, how are you doing today? And how's been the class so far? I mean, just give me like, okay, insights. Oh, yeah.
Hello, yeah, Emmanuel, good afternoon, sir.
Good
I'm good.
afternoon.
Um, Actually, the last two classes I wasn't around.
Okay.
I was a bit indisposed, but I'm much stronger and better now. But I was able to
Awesome.
catch up with the live recordings, and I'm good. Yeah, it has been fun so far. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Thanks for the feedback.
Thank you so
All
much,
right.
sir.
Binta, let me pass the mic to you. How's been the class so far?
Okay, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So far I've really enjoyed myself because the class has been so interactive. We can, ask questions and then get clarification. I think that is one of the things I like most. Like where maybe we are confused and then we ask question and then we get answers to them. So far so good. Everything is fine and I'm enjoying myself. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, good to hear that. Thanks. I'll pass the mic to Cyril.
Hi, good afternoon,
Good
everyone.
afternoon.
Yeah, everything has been positive. Yeah, everything has been positive. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Awesome. I will pass the mic to Dorcas. Okay. Gloria. Okay, go ahead, Dorcas. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually my first time on the live call because but it's been okay and well all the way since I've been rewatching the recorded videos and on YouTube. So it's been all right here, learning and grasping well. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that some of us to go back to the live recording on YouTube. That means, I mean, for some people that are not here in class, that means definitely they go, I mean, check out the class on YouTube just to catch up some things. That's really nice. Gloria, let me pass the mic to you.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Good
The class has
afternoon.
actually been nice for the past 4 weeks, and it has actually been interactive. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Guys, thanks for the feedback. I mean, like, that means a lot to us. And I know we are meant to be 25. So in case you know anybody, because I think the last class I took, I could remember some guys, I think John and then some couples of guys, but they are not on the call. In case you know any of them, please like just drop a voice note or message to them that, yo, what's up? The class have started. Let's tune in. All right. Awesome. So let me share my screen. Okay. All right. So yeah. During course of last in the last class, we talked about CSS and responsive design, and I'm quite sure some of us we have like for people that don't have like background knowledge of CSS before, I'm quite sure our tutor give us like a good in-depth knowledge. I mean like that. So introduction on CSS. And yeah, so one thing I like to tell us is to learning, there's no end. Yeah. So whatever you can learn in this class, I mean, like make practical use of it. And that's why we are trying to introduce hands-on code. Because I mean, it's important for you to be able to write some things, make mistake, get stuck, and oh, I mean, like some of the experience come in like debugging some things. Okay, why is this thing not working? Experience come in solving some of those difficult issues. By the time when you're able to resolve some things, you have more confidence. I mean, like you can. I mean, you have confidence to say, okay, let me pick on the next challenge. So it's okay for you to get stuck, but it's not okay if you are stuck not to reach out to someone that's you. I think this thing is not working on my end. Or in case peradventure, like you are working maybe during your time, I mean, just reach out to anybody or drop it on the group that please, can anybody help me? I think I've been doing this. So let's do more of hands-on code. It's very, very important. Okay, so we talk about the CSS and responsive design. So in today's class, we'll be doing more of hands-on code. We'll be doing more of hands-on code. So I will just, from where we stopped last, I'm going to share my screen and then we continue from there. All right, cool. Okay, is there any question before I go ahead? Any feedback, any question? Okay, so I'll take that as a no. There's no question. So, okay, guys, can you see my screen? Gloria, can you see my code? Hi, Gloria, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can see your code.
Okay, cool. So guys, please, let's open up this project that we're working on the last time. So let me open this on my, to see where we stopped last. So we can just do some, okay, this is where we stopped last. Okay, so what we'll be doing today is just after doing last week introduction to CSS, so we'll be diving deep more into CSS, the likes of Flexbox, responsive design, and then we'll be doing some um, padding, margin, and then some other things. Add the color, add the font size, then some other stuff. So by the time when we are done with maybe when we are 15 minutes almost ending this class, we just try to recap some of the things that we've learned so far. So I mean, as takeouts. All right, cool. Uh, Let me assume everybody, have we opened this as part of the code? Okay, let me just hear like 2 years or 3 years. That okay? Before I start. Hi guys. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So we'll be starting with styling this section of the code. So guys, in order for us to link our CSS, we've done introduction to CSS in the last class. So in order for us to link our CSS, we just do style.css. So let's just do this. Okay. All right, guys. Binta, can you see my screen very well? Is it clear enough?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. All right. So let me like just chip this in case you are working on a very big project, like just a big project, or even if it's a small project, it's very important for you to do some definition right at the beginning of your screen. I mean, right at the top of your CSS. So I'll just be doing some definition. So I'll be doing some definition of colors that will be making use in this project 7BFF. Okay, so what's the purpose of doing definition? So sometimes you do color definition, sometimes you do font definition, sometimes you do border definition, and sometimes it could be some things like padding, margin. So you can make use of it in your project. So in case like you have so many modules that you are working on, it's not in your project that you'll be doing, okay, font color. You'll be pasting different color code everywhere. So you just have to pick it from your roots CSS file. So it's good to do some custom definition. So that's what we'll be doing first. I'm doing this just to give us a good writing convention. So by the time when we are making progress in our development journey, we can instill this practice. All right. So primary color, I'm defining primary color. I'm defining secondary color. So um, it's okay. You can use different name based on what you like. Right. C1. Okay, so I'll just stop here for the colors. There are more colors. Maybe as we progress in the class, we can do that. All right. Okay, guys, in case you are done with that, so there's I will also do this general styling just to remove have margin padding of 0, box shadow, box side. Sorry. Okay, guys. So I'm going to reiterate what I've just said. So, what's the purpose of doing this general styling and then make use of HTML and body and adding some default styling into it? So the purpose is, we make use of, or we can have control over what browser the user is going to make use of. So it's best for you to set some things to 0 because some browser can have like a default margin or a default padding. So by the time it's good for you to control that within your code that, okay, whatever browser they are making use of, I want to put margin padding to 0, width to 100%, then overflow to hidden. So it's just a good writing convention for you to ensure that, okay, when you are starting a new project or working on a new project, do some default presentation style. Okay. All right, guys. So I will just start from where we stopped last, which is join the ultimate tech club. So okay. So I'll pick this. Guys, for this, inside this section, let's add a class name container. Okay, let me change this. Hero container, hero caption. This is hero caption. All right, guys. So we have where's the okay? This is join the Ultimate Tech Club. This is the H2, and then this is the image. So what I'm doing is I put a class on this section for the hero banner. So I put a class called hero container on it. And then for this description of the text, I put a class called hero caption. And then for the image, I put a class named hero image. So basically, what's the purpose of this class? So this class will be what will be used to style this particular section of code. So we'll be making use of the class name. So let me say hero container, hero container, right? So let me start with display of okay, guys. All right, so we've started the styling already. So if you see what I just did here, so I put this section is wrapping two containers. So this is the first this is the first, like, let me just give it in terms of like a layman description. Let's say we have two blocks, this block one, this block two. So I want these two blocks to be side by side. I don't want them to be in vertical position. I want them to be in horizontal position. So you just make use of hero container, give it a display of flex. Now display have, I think we have different options for display. You can use block, you can use flex, you can use inline flex. So if I do block, this is what we should have. It should be in column format. That's the vertical format. But then if I use flex, it should be in the horizontal position. Okay. All right, guys, do we get that? Okay, so I will need two feedback. I mean, like 3 feedback from us in the class. So you can just unmute. So give me feedback that, yeah, I got this, I got this. Anybody?
Yeah, please, can you come again with the explanation?
Okay, so let me start over again. So this is what I'm saying. Where we stopped in the last class, this section 1 for this content, join the Ultimate Tech Book Club. Then we passed this paragraph, and then we added some other contents as well. So we want to start the styling process. So in order for us to start, let me just start with the hero section, because like that's what we are starting with today. So I added a class name called hero container. So in order for you to target, in order for you to do presentation, in order for you to do styling rather, or presentation, you can make use of different you can make use of different stuff. You can either use class, you can use ID in order to target the particular elements, element that you want to style. Okay, so if you look at this, so it's like a house. We have 2 rooms, so we want the 2 rooms to be side by side. We don't want them to be in vertical format. We want them to be side by side. So in order for us to do that, we make use of this hero container, and then the display format that we want to use is flex. We want it to be flex. So if you now look at it, immediately I put flex. This is what we have. They are in uh, horizontal position. Let me change this guy to block. You can see that it has changed to vertical. So we have an attribute called display, and then we can pass this particular value called block. We can pass flex, or we can pass inline block. So let's see, inline block as well will make it in the vertical position. But if you pass flex to it, flex will put it in horizontal view, the horizontal landscape. I don't know, do you catch that?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay, all right, cool. So do you want to practice it?
Yes, and of course.
Okay. Guys, in case you have any question, please feel free to ask. There's no question that is too small. There's no question that is big. Let's ask any question. We are here for each other and we are here to learn. All right. Okay. So doing that, you can see, guys, that this the contents for this hero section start from the beginning of this. So I don't want this. I would like to add a spacing at the beginning, at the left, and then at the right. So I can add that. So let me add padding. Padding left. I can do padding left of 100 pixels and padding right of 100 pixels. All right, guys. So let's see what we have. Okay, so you can see space between here and here, and space between here and here. All right, so that's adding padding. Okay, so I would continue. Okay, so I think I will just join another laptop so I can. All right, guys, I'm just giving us like 30 seconds. Let's quickly get this done. So let's have the same effect. Let's have this spacing at the left side, at the right side. Please, let's do that. So I'll just give us like 30 seconds for us to do that. Okay, so in case you are done, guys, we done with that. So I would like to add a spacing between these two contents so we can have space. I don't want them to be gummed together. So I can add like a property called gap. So let me do 10 pixels. Okay, just to add spacing between these two content. So let's start with the styling of this. Let's start with the styling of this content. So okay. All right. So this is what the text look like? Join the Ultimate Tech Book Club. Okay, before I move on, before I start styling the content, any other question? Any question from anybody? Cyril, any question from you?
No, there is no question. There is no question.
Okay. All right, cool. So let me just continue. So I will start with this, join the tech. So I can pick this, guys. All right. So you can see, guys, that there's a div element wrapping the content for this particular content. So, and then we added a class name called hero caption to it. So I can use this class name. I can pick this class name, say, I can say, okay, I want to target the element H2. I want to target the element H2. Then I can say, let me add a font size of, let's use a random, let me use 38. Okay, so this big, but is it what we want? Does it look like? Join the ultimate tech one. Okay, so let me use 42. Let me make it a bit bigger. All right, so what we can do now is, during the last class, I was adding BR just to break the text. But instead of doing that, we can just use max width. Let's say the max width that we want is 200 pixels. Join the ultimate tech. Okay, so let me increase this to 250. Okay, so it's a description of what we want now. During the last class, we were using BR tag to break some of these text into next line. So we are not using BR tag again. So what we are using now is we are just giving it a max width that, okay, this how far I want you to go. I don't want you to go beyond this limit. So that's the purpose of using maximum width from the word max. So it means maximum width. This is the extent in which I want you to go. So this is all we have right now. All right, guys. Is there any question before I move on? Join the ultimate tech club. Okay, so one thing we can do is let's make it looks more lively instead of using this fonts family. So let's pick a font family online. So I will just go to Google Fonts. So let me use this popping. So, okay, guys. So just open Google Fonts, please, yeah, guys. Let's just follow. So open Google Fonts. I've selected popping, so I can pick on get embedded code. Okay, I will just drop it on the class link as well. So I'm dropping it here. Okay. So I can say, okay, okay, guys. So we can see the difference in the outlook now. Join the ultimate tech club. Okay. So for some weird reason, let's say in case there are different ways in which we can add this font family. You can either add it from your HTML, you can add it from your CSS, and then there are some cases in which, let's say, by the time when we get to, I don't know if we'll be covering React in this session, in this program, but if not, there are some situation where you can just add the font family from your Node package by the time when you are installing your Node. So, I mean, from your Node modules, use npm to add the particular fonts that you're using. So there are different cases in which you can add your fonts. But for the purpose of this class, we'll be making use of the index.html to add the font family. So I'm making use of popping. I can as well add it in my, and then add sans serif as well, and then add some other, maybe just let's say that, whatever. So the purpose of adding extra fonts family is just in case if network is so bad or the particular fonts in which you use in your application is not loading. So you can just add a default font. So once the browser cannot like load that particular first font in which you are using, it's just going to pick the other default fonts that you added. All right, cool. So join the Ultimate Tech Book Club. Ultimate. Okay, so let me increase this guy. Okay. Join the Ultimate Tech Book Club. All right. Any question from anybody before we move on? Okay. So let's start, guys. Let's start the paragraph as well. So what I would do is hero caption, then I'll pick my paragraph. Then I can as well do this font size of let me say 14 pixels. Am I using P? Okay, so let me use 16. All right. So I will add padding top and padding bottom. Padding top. Let me say 10. Padding bottom. So let me say 10 pixels as well. Okay. So the purpose is just add padding between, okay, this first guy and then this second guy. So let me increase the padding. Let me say like 15 or 20. Just add more space. All right, guys. Okay. Okay, so guys, is there any question at this point? Is there any question? Dorcas, Cyril, Binta, any question?
No, there's no question.
Okay, how about Cyril?
No, there is no question. There's no question.
All right, cool. So I'm making progress. So the next thing I'm just going to do is Okay, so let's move to the button, guys. So for the styling of this button, so I'm adding a class called btn. So I can come here to say dot hero caption dot btn, right? So I can say text transform capitalize to make, because I think it's in capital case. Then I can add padding as well. Padding of, let me say I want 10 pixels. That's for up and bottom. Guys, so when we are working, okay, let me just add it first. 10 pixels, then we can say 20 pixels. Okay, so initially at this point I did padding left and padding right. Now here I just did padding and then I had just added my value. So let's check the impact. So this is the impact of what I did. So I added padding top and padding bottom 10 pixels and then left and right 20. So instead of writing padding top, padding bottom, padding left, padding right, you can just do this. And then this padding by default takes 4 values. So you can do padding 10 pixels, 20 pixels, 10 pixels. So this means top, right, bottom, and then left. And then by default, if you now pass, okay, I don't want, since the top, bottom, they are using the same value, and then left and right, they are using the same value. So you can just make use of 2 instead of repetition. To prevent repetition, you can just do this. So the compiler is going to understand that, okay, this first value is for up and bottom, and then this is for left and right. All right. So I'm going to add, now, if I take my hand to this guy, you notice that it's still the cursor is not like in clickable format. So there's an attribute called cursor and value of pointer. Cursor. All right. So by the time when I over it, it's going to have an ant format. All right. So moving on from there. Moving on from there. Okay. All right, guys. So I will just be getting feedback from us in the class because it looks like I've been the only one active and it's an interactive section. So this what our button looks like at the moment, but this is what we have. So what other thing do we need to add? Okay. So Gloria, let me pass the mic to you. Hi, Gloria. Are you with us? Okay. So I'll come back to Gloria. Okay. Cyril, let me pass the mic to you.
Okay. I think we need our icon there.
Okay.
Is it? Yeah. The icon. That's the only thing I can see for now.
The only icon that you can see.
And the fonts, we should change the fonts of the text. I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so let me just do those 2 things that you make mention of. Then Okay, because one thing about front end development is about ensuring that you convert. You can use the word convert. You can use the word slice the Figma design into perfect uh, pixels, uh, perfect pixels. So you need to ensure that okay, whatever the designer gives to you, you like ensure it's 100%. So that's why I'm asking from us like feedback that okay, from what we currently have and from what we have in the design, what do you notice? It is a slight difference. Okay, so let's add this icon. Okay, so let me search for fonts also. So let's look at arrow down. Okay, so let's use this guy. Hmm. Okay, so let's see what we currently have. Okay, so the icon is there. And then, okay, so let me change the fonts. The fonts family, guys. Okay. So, all right, I've updated the font. So one thing I noticed is there, so there's small size between this text and then this icon. So one thing that we can do is to add spacing, to add spacing between two of them. So there are different ways to achieve that though, but I would just, so I can add display of flex and then add a gap between the two of them. So let me say, let me use 5 pixels. What do we have? Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool, guys. So, all right. Thanks for that. So, any other person, what do we notice? Okay. So, one thing that we can notice is for this particular rectangle, for the border, you notice that from the design, it's more curved. So we can add like a border radius. We can add a border radius. So let's say border. Uh, so let's say border of 6 pixels. Okay. So we notice that it's more curved. All right. So let's change the background color as well. Let's change the background color of what we have. So in order for us to do that, we can just say background color. Okay. And then we can pick var and then use accents color. This to be so. Okay, so let me just add the other color that we have for this project. background. Guys, just give me, let me just quickly add this. So if it's F9, F, yeah. So then we can add another background tag. Zero and two, five, two, four. Okay. So I guess how can we use to pick this color? Okay, so let me just duplicate this color. Okay. So let's see. Okay, I think it's a lot better now. All right, cool. So guys, let's change the border color. This border color is too thick. Oh, is it the same? No, I think this looks gray, but it's fine. Mm. So okay. So what I'm doing now is, guys, if you notice, the text here is capital. So I want to ensure that it's meant to be capital. So I want to ensure that the text is capital. Text transform. Okay, let me give this guy a class. BTN. So uppercase. All right. So, and then one thing I noticed that this guy is a little bit fatter than what we currently have. So in order for us to achieve that, we can add a font weight to do that. Okay, there's a question. Go ahead, please.
Okay, my question is with when you're making use of the property. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, the property text transform, like it's not possible for us to edit the text on our HTML instead of using like writing it in capsulator instead of using CSS proxy, because I'm trying to really figure out why we are using text transform if we could actually write it in the HTML like that button. Now we could write everything in capsulator, like can caps lock and then write everything. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah,
And then
perfect.
it
I
appears
understand.
like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I understand your
So I
question.
want to
All
know
right.
why it's happening like that. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yes, so we can achieve that with that method. Let's just put everything in caps lock, like instead of putting in small letter, let's just put caps lock. But there are some situations in which you don't have control over the text that is inside here. Okay, so the only reason why we can do that is because I have control over what is here. So let's observe the situation whereby the text that's coming here is meant to be a dynamic text in the sense that it's coming from an API. So as a front-end engineer, like, okay, you interact with API and the information that is meant to be displayed here is coming from API. You are not the one, like, you are not the one inputting it. It's coming from another source, which is called API, from information that the backend engineer is sending to you. So you don't have control over the information that will be rendered here. Those guys can send you capital letter, they can send you small letter, they can send you the different formats. And then you as a front-end engineer, your duty is to ensure that you control how the users see what is being rendered. So in such case, it's good that you control, the presentation of that information from your CSS. Yeah, so that's just a scenario where you need to control the information that will be presented with CSS. I don't know, does that answer the question?
Yes, I think I now know better. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, any other question? Okay, perfect. So let me just continue. So, okay, where we stopped was this guy is meant to be fatter, like it has more flesh from the design. Meanwhile, what we have is very, very skinny. So what we can do is to add a font weight. Let me say font weight of 400. Okay, so let me add the font weight of 600. Okay, cool. So we can see that this guy is more fatter. Is more fatter. So this is cool. This is cool. This is cool. Then okay, so can we say we are good to go on this button from what we have from the design and what we will currently have? Okay, it's a little bit bigger. So let's add a font size. So let me say okay, guys. So this is using the font size to control. So the reason why I moved the font size right from this class controlling the span. So the button text is inside the span. So I move it to the parents class name, which is the button. If you see this, it's so that the font size can control the value for both the span and then the icon that we added. So adding 18 controls what we have in the text and as well the icon. Yeah. So let me increase this spacing. Okay. All right, guys. All right, guys. Is there any other thing? Okay. The button. Let me add a margin button. All right. So guys, I would like to chip in something here. So if you look at this button now, you notice that where we used padding to control the spacing between this text and then this border. So the space between a text and then the border is what we refer to as padding. And then after the border, the space outside is what we refer to as margin. So now, for instance, if you look at the bottom of this button, there's no space between this button and then these avatars. So I want a space. So what I can use to control that is margin. So let me recap that. So let me add margin. So I will add it in the parents margin button. So let me say I want it to be like 20. Okay, cool. So I'm going to repeat. I'm going to repeat what I just said because I know I always have issue with what's different between padding and margin. I mean, like that was only the early days of development, right? So we have this text here, and then we have border, and then we have the space outside the border. So between the text and then the border, the space between two of them is what we refer to as padding. So we can do padding top, padding right, padding bottom, padding left. Then after the border, the space outside is what we refer to as margin. So we can use margin to control the space outside the border. So we can do padding top, padding right, padding bottom, and padding left. So that's why I did padding, sorry, margin rather. That was why I did margin bottom, and then we have this space at the moment. All right, perfect. Guys, is there any question from us? I believe we are making progress. Okay. Okay, guys. One other thing is, if you notice, like, okay, I was just writing some of this thing offhand. So it's more of practice. The more you practice, the more you can get, okay, this is what I need to add. This is what I need to remove. So it's not like I've written a list of CSS somewhere. I'm just copying and typing it. If I've done that, I won't be doing some, okay, let's increase this, let's reduce that. So the reason I'm saying so is you need to like write more. The more you write, the better you become. So you just be writing some of these things offhand that, okay, there's no need for me to like look at something, or yeah, the more you write, the better you become. So that's for that. Okay, guys, so let's control. There's an over effect, anytime when you over a button, you can just add some other attributes that you want. Maybe you want the background to be a little more bolder, and then you want to transform the text. So let's do that. So let's do hero caption does bitsy in on over. So we can say we want the background to change. So let's make it, and then okay. All right, guys. So you can see the difference. So by the time when I over, you can see what we currently have. So maybe in the next class when we meet, we'll be adding some other effects like transform. We don't want the color to show like at once. So we want a subtle effect anytime when you over the button. All right. What other props? I think it's fine. Let's just leave it as the background. So if we change the color to white, did we define a white color? Okay, this is not bad, right? This is not bad. Okay, so let's see the design. Okay, guys, before we move on, any question before we move ahead? Any question from us? Okay, in the absence of no questions, so I will just move ahead. So guys, so let's start this avatar and then this 200 plus developers. So what we can do to, let me see. Okay, so let's add a class name. So let me say hero 200 plus. Hero numbers. So let me just do that. So one thing I would like to do is I would like to put this image in another div element, and then what we currently have here in another container. So what I can do is, okay, put this in a div, and then do this. Okay. Okay. So for the lower one as well, let me say hero. Okay. All right. So let me do this first before getting my star avatar. So display of flex. So why are we using display of flex? The purpose is that I want these images and then this description to be side by side. So guys, we can see, initially they were in a vertical form. So I've put them side by side. Then I want spacing between two of them. Let me say I'm giving them 20 pixels. All right, cool. So let me get the font icon. Let me get the font icon. Star, right? Star. Okay, so let me put so I would like to group them as well. So 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Let's see what we have. Okay. So this is what we currently have. So we need to style the color. So let's say style ratings. Okay. So what I can do is dot hero numbers dot ratings. Dot ratings. Dot hero numbers dot rating. So I can say I want the color to be okay. So I don't want any space. Okay, guys, so let me another skill that we can always make use of is the debugging skill. So for instance, I noticed that there's space. I want to reduce space between this star and then this paragraph element. So one thing we can do is you can just try to check that, okay, which of these two elements has space, because I noticed from my code, I didn't add any padding. bottom or top to any of these two elements. So we can just try to debug that. Okay, which of these two elements okay, so definitely it's the hero caption. I see. So the hero caption that I made this of, so let me give this guy a class so it won't affect others. So let me see hero caption text. Hero caption text. Okay. And then all right, cool. Okay, so let me give this guy as well a class hero ratings text. So we can commit to dot hero rating text and say first of all, so let's give it a font family property, and then yeah, so let's just give it like a padding top, very small one, let's say 5 pixels. Okay, cool. Guys, I think we are making progress from where we started today. Any question from anybody? Dorcas, any question from you? Okay. Gifts, any question from you? Okay. So I will just pass the mic around. So let's just check what other thing is missing in this design that we can add. Let me start with Serial. So this the design that we are working with, and this is what we currently have. So what addition can we make?
Okay, the color of our text, like they join the ultimate textbook, I think it has a different fonts, like the color, I don't know.
Okay. Yes. So it has like uh, a linear gradient format. Okay. All right, cool. Any other difference? Any other thing? Hi, Siri. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I'm still checking.
Okay. Should I go to what we currently have?
Probably you can. Let me see.
This is what we have at the moment. Okay, so any other changes?
The fonts of the lorem text, I think, I don't know whether it's the same also. Then I saw is it the textbook club? We didn't apply that image. Is that an image or an icon up there? The textbook club. Yeah.
Okay, the tech book club. I'm not sure we even added that. So that looks like the nav. So let's just we didn't even add that. The tech book club. Okay. All right, cool. So those two things. All right, fine. We'll do that. So let's add for the caption, the H2. So let's add the color, linear. There's a linear gradients prop. Okay. Yeah. So we say background. It's a background color. So we give it a prompt to write, and then we add the two colors in which one. So let me pick this, and then this black. So from this, okay. And then to background color. Color for text. Okay. We just check. That's why it's not applicable. All right, cool. I will just check why it's not applicable, but we want it on the text, so it's going to be applicable to the text. I'll just check why it's not applicable. All right. Yeah. So let's try to add this guy. What do we have here? This tech book club. Let's try to add that. So in order for us to do that, we have to add a section on top here, like nav. So for the nav, it's like a nav. So let's do a section in nav. So let's add it if. So let me check the items in my avatar. I'm not really sure I have the okay. Tech book club. So let me just write it. Then we get the. So let me do an H tech book club. Okay.
You didn't indicate whether it was a H or a P. Just wrote the step.
Okay, so let me do that. Okay, actually, no, it was not. Putting your item inside a div does not affect why you should not show. So that shouldn't affect that. Either you put it this way, it's what could be the issue? This word. Okay, so I really can't tell why it's not showing. for nerve local. So let's try to do some things. Okay, so I think maybe this particular ports could have cached the data. I don't know. Okay, so we have the textbook clock. So let's just do a styling as well to it. So what we can do, so let's do docs container. So for container, let's say we always want to have this, so we can reuse it across. So yeah, it's possible for us to use multiple class name on an element. Okay, so we have tech book club. All right. So like answering your question, so we can. It was in a div tag, right? So we can put it in a div. It's going to show, but it's going to show. But you know, like div is like, in most cases we use div as a wrapper, as a group wrapper. So like you have some list of items, you want to use it to wrap an element or a group of elements. So in most cases we use div. But this is actually not a good practice for you to just put your text in a div, but we use it sometimes. We use it sometimes. So I will just undo that and then wrap this guy, since we are going to have a logo as well. Since we're going to have a logo as well. Okay. All right. So I really do not need this display block. Again. So I can control the items I'm adding to it. Then I can say like a font size of so let me use 18 because I want it to be, let me use 24. Okay, so I want to control the color. So let me say I want a dark blue color. In most cases, by the time when you are doing your work, you should know that you can always collect your color palette from the designer, right? Color. Okay. I'm not sure which of the icon we're using. Sorry, a moment. Contacts. Okay, this guy. So I want to add an image. Okay. All right. So what I can do, first of all, I want to flex those two items. So let me do that here. Display of display of flex, right? Okay, so I can control my image size. Wait, let me say I want it to be 20 pixels. Then height. Okay. Align items set. So I'm trying to increase the width of this. So let me give a to the nav container. To the nav container. So I want to separate it from our arrow banner. So okay, I can do that for this margin button. So let me give you a margin. Okay, so this is what we have. So let's see, Tech Book Club. The image. Okay, we can just update this image. Tech Book Club. Tech Book Club. So let me reduce the font weight of this guy. So let me use like 300. So it's in. Okay, I think it's okay like this. Tech something. Okay, there's space between each of them. It's okay. So yeah. All right, so guys, let's just move on from here for the linear gradients. Okay, so I'll just check this out. Why? I mean, okay. Okay, so let's check. We have the stars. So below the stars, we have this 200 plus developers joined already. So let's reduce the font size of this guy. Let's reduce the font size of these 200 plus developers. So what we can do, 200 plus developers. Okay. Font size. So let's give it 12 pixels. So I'll do 14. All right. So we noticed that these guys are stacked on top of each other, the avatars. They are stacked on top of each other. So there are different ways to achieve that, though. There are different ways to achieve that. So I can just do each of them have a gap, their image. Okay. So what I can do is to give them, there are different ways to achieve the avatar hero avatars. Okay, guys. So the hero numbers, under the hero numbers, we can just have the hero avatar. We can do a display of flex, and then we can minus the gap in between each of them. So let me do okay, minus is not picking. So yeah, the minus is not picking. So another way to, let me try. So let me avatar 2, avatar 3. So okay. Dot hero avatar dot avatar 2, and give it a margin left of minus 10 pixels. Okay. Same thing is applicable to this guy. So let me do it. Okay, so one thing we notice is that there's meant to be a white border. A white border. So in order for us to achieve that, in order for us to achieve the white border around the image, so we need to add a border radius. Okay. So we don't need this, guys. We don't need this. Okay. So let me to achieve the border, it's all the border is only applicable. Is it applicable to image 1 as well? Yeah, it should be applicable to image 1 as well. So we can add it on all the images. Okay. So in order for us to do that, we can do border 1 pixel solid, and the var is white. Okay, so let's see what we have. Okay, so if you see what we have now, it's a box. It's a box. So what we need to do is to add a border radius. Border radius. Okay, so let's make it 2. Okay. So, okay, guys, is there anything you notice? Because there's something I want to add. So, if you notice that the third image is stacked on top of the second image, and the second image is stacked on top of the first image. So one way that we can achieve that is a property called Z index. So Z index simply help us to like, okay, in the form of category arrangement that, okay, this is going to be on top, the next one should follow, then the next one should follow. So the avatar 3 should have the highest Z index in this case. So we can do dot hero avatar dot avatar 3 and give it an higher Z index. Then we do the same for the 2. And so let me do Z index for this guy. So let me do 20. Then for this guy, 10. Okay. Mm. Okay, guys, is there any question from us? Is there any question from anybody? Yeah, go ahead, Winter.
Okay, sorry. So I saw that you used a negative Z index for the first avatar. Is it the first avatar or the second? I don't know which one. But you used a negative Z index. Then for the other two, you are using a positive. So how did you come about that?
Okay, so a negative Z index, I didn't use a negative Z index. So the second avatar is Z index of 10, then the third one is Z index of 20.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the place where I use a negative value is for this margin left. So basically
Yes,
for the
yes.
third and second, just to like reduce the margin left and shift it backward.
Okay. Well, I think negative value. I
So
don't know.
yeah, let me remove this. See what we have. So each of them by default, okay. Each of them by default have this, sorry. Each of them by default have this space. So I need this 2 and 3 to be stacked. I need this number 2 to be stacked on top number 1, and then number avatar 3 to be stacked on top of number 2. Do you get?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so that's why I had to use the negative value for to bring it backward.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Cyril, any question for me?
No, there is no question. No question.
Okay, how about Gloria?
No question.
Okay. Um. All right. So this is what we currently have, and then this is what we have at the moment. All right. So for the image, it's just for us to add a border radius around the image, and then I think we pause with that. So let me just do that. So for this image, so So let me do this. Border radius 15 pixels. Okay, just to add a radius around the image, around the image. Okay. So yeah, I think we made progress on the conversion, and so basically that's in terms of the hands-on code, that's what we do for today. So I'm going to share the source code in the WhatsApp group in case for us anybody wants to check this out. Yeah. And then what else? What else? Okay, so yes, so far, let me just recap what we've gone through for today. We've talked about anytime when you want to work on a project. So your style.css, when you are starting, ensure that you have definitions of your colors. Ensure that you default your margin and padding for the application to 0, and then do the same for HTML and then the body. Then we talk about padding and margin, right? So where you can use padding top, padding bottom, padding left, and padding right. Then we talk about display. We talk about display of flex. You can use display of block, and then you can use display of inline block. Then we talk about using aligned items. Basically, this to center and items to the middle. We talk about making some widths as well, heights, and then some other activities. I mean, some other attributes we use today. So we can go through this, and then so I will just leave this for a while. So in case we want to, ask any question. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
That means,
I have,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, okay. For the image at the left hand side, sorry, right hand side, this can I see the width and height that was used? Yes, this particular image.
Okay. Is
But
it this guy?
yes, yes.
So
Was there
this,
any specified?
yeah, this is the image and height.
Oh, okay. So there's no need, like we did inline, we didn't take it to our CSS. So it's okay like that, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can remove it. We had this since last class. We
Yes.
can remove it, add it to your image. Yes, we can do that.
All right.
Okay, cool. Any other questions? So for the other ones, for the other screens, we can just do that. For the other sections, I will just give it to us as an assignment to work on. All right. Any question from anybody? Hmm. Okay. So in the case of no question, so let me just give us a classwork then before our time elapse. Yes, let's do a classwork. So for this section, can we work on it? This guy. Hello. Oh, Binta Serial. Can we work on this section?
Okay.
Is this something you can do? You can take on?
Yeah, I'll try because my issue is with the styling when it comes to, because the last time we had a class, we thought of using a URL, like sorry, a UL ordered on ordered lists. I don't know how to do that. Yeah. I will try though.
Okay. How about Serial?
I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try. And let's see.
Okay. Binta,
Yes, sir.
can you take this as a challenge as well as a classwork?
Yes, I can.
Then we have Dave. 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 Dave, can you take this as a challenge as well as a classwork?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's get started. One, two, three. So guys, I don't really know what's up. I mean, like we are meant to be 25, but at the moment we are 4. So what do you think could be the issue, could be the challenge? So let me just ask a feedback from us. That's what could be the issue? I mean, like we are meant to be more than this.
Well, the big time, same time.
Hmm? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you
Yeah,
now.
so it could be the timing, but at the same time, so they can always get it from the YouTube channel. So probably that's fine.
Oh, okay.
That could be one
Um,
reason.
you mean some people might not join the class because they can as well go to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's possible. And at the
Mm,
same time, too, today's Sunday also. Can I tell you what you do right now? That's the try, anyways.
okay. Any other feedback? All right. So I'm only asking, maybe in case there's some other things we can do, just to encourage people to join more. Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Okay, that's fine. So I think that should be all on my end for today. In case there's a question, yeah, that should be all. So
Okay,
just
one last thing.
yes, go ahead, please.
Please, can you share like the website name so we can go and try to replicate the project? I don't know. Maybe a URL to the website.
Oh, there's no this is just a random design. It's just for us to practice. So
Yes, I know.
do you want the
Like how
design?
are we going? Yes.
Okay. So I'll just
Yeah.
drop it in the class channel now.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I will stop sharing and then maybe can stop recording. Okay. Binta, Serial, Dave. So the class work that you are going to do, can I follow up with you on that?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, yes, you can.
So when are you looking at finishing? Today, tomorrow, mid of the week?
I think I will share with you on WhatsApp. I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
before the end of tomorrow.
All
Yeah,
right.
same
Or
thing with me. So once I'm done.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you very much. Yeah, I'll pass the mic to Imole. Yeah, thank you, guys.